is what I'm talking about. I reach back to get this out of my pocket. A horse that doesn't tolerate many things is a dangerous horse. Just bringing that and touching her foot caused her to panic. I've never seen that with a horse before. It's not worth getting hurt, and she will hurt someone when she gets in a panic. I've really never had to do this with a horse. Hey y'all, Nate Eicher from Eicher Ranch. There's something I've been wanting to do with Sierra ever since she got here, and today we're gonna try to get that done. But before we get going, here's a few clips from where we started.
Well, this mare I rescued from a kill lot in Oklahoma. She's a bucking bred mare off of a ranch, originally in Idaho. She was shipping to slaughter. Was very skeptical, snorty, scared.
All right, so we've been working towards something with Sierra ever since she came here, and that is her front feet. They've still not gotten trimmed, and the reason for it is she's been very, very tough and very finicky with those front legs. She's an interesting horse that way, but we're gonna get to that pretty shortly here. I got Tater here, my right-hand man. He's here for moral support and just to help where we need him, but it does help. I believe it does help Sierra when he's in here, when she's working through some tougher things. You know, the last couple sessions especially, we've been trying to prepare her to get her front feet trimmed, and it won't be anything like a real trim yet probably, but I'm just glad if I can get the nippers on her and start trimming those feet. But one thing that's very interesting about her is when I go down to pick up her feet, she's very touchy, but like if I use a tarp or a rope or anything like that, it's about nothing for her. You know, she's fine with that. It's more the human touch. But what's also really weird with her is when I have a hold of her foot and I bring the hoof pick, like the other day I started using the hoof pick, just bringing that and touching her foot caused her to panic. I've never seen that with a horse before. You know, I've had a lot of touchy horses and a lot of tough ones, but the fact that something touching her hoof, and I was barely touching it, you know, it was just the fact that I had something else in my hand and touching her hoof with it, that caused her to panic. So really what we're working through with her is when she starts to panic, we want to teach her how to control her emotions and how to trust me through it. So we're just going to rub on her here a bit and start picking up her feet and just see where we're at here tonight. This is her better side, but you'll see pretty quick here, if I run my hand down, you know, she's very, very sensitive to me picking up her foot. Now this is way better than it used to be. You know, if you watch the first couple videos, I couldn't even touch her, but then it took quite a long time just to get to where I could put a rope on her feet and do anything with her feet. So we've come a long ways, but she still has that barrier about her that she'll only trust me so far yet. And so we need to just keep working on it, chipping away at it. Good, so that's a nice little warm up on each side. Good job. What I want to do is test it with the hoof pick first of all, then get the rasp or the nippers and play around with it and see if we can't get some of that toe knocked off. You know, I don't know for sure if we'll be able to. We'll just see how she does. So I'm going to pick her up here and I'm going to rub some of the sand off, and then see right there is what I'm talking about. I reached back to get this out of my pocket and she sensed that something was a little funky. So what I'm going to do is let her smell it. You know, I've really never had to do this with a horse, like let them smell a hoof pick before I even, like I've worked with a lot of wild Mustangs and I've never had to do it. Like I just work on building their trust and picking up their feet, and everything just kind of flowed together. But with her, it is very strange. Good. All right, so there we go. I was able to get that hoof pick on her. I didn't pick any of the sand out yet, but she let me touch her hoof with it. So on this side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come down with the hoof pick visible. Good. And then I'll just start picking out the foot with it. There we go. Making a little bit of noise with it. So that's much better than a session or two ago. Good. Now obviously, I'm not holding this like a farrier would. A farrier would hold it between his legs. But because of how quick she kicks yet with her hinds and how quick she moves, and when the panic sets in, I'm not going to put myself in that situation just yet. It's not worth getting hurt. And she will hurt someone when she gets in a panic. So I have this hoof pick visible. Good. Just giving her some deep rubs here. Good. There we go. And I'll just softly, slowly start picking out the dirt in her feet. So like some horses, it's the problem, like with the farrier, is they don't want to pick up their feet. But for her, she'll pick up her feet good. She's really feely. For her, it's not going into a panic and really throwing down that foot and wheeling her hind end around. For her, it's trying not to get her to make some quick moves. So I'm gonna put this hoof pick over here and grab the rasp. Have a basic rasp here that, here again, I'm gonna let her smell it. Good. Tater wants to help. And so here again, I'm going to keep the rasp visible instead of behind me. And I'm trying my best not to surprise her with anything. Good. And then good, there we go. Let her smell it on this side. And work my way down this leg. Good. Good, there we go. Tater, you're really kind of in the way, aren't you? I'm trying to turn her to where you can see things a little better. She naturally tends to turn that way to where it's hard to see anything, but I'm gonna do my best here. See, I'm just going with her, trying to keep things really casual and old Tater's just trying to help, but we don't need that on behind her. We don't need him behind her right now. In front of her is fine. So with her leaving like this, I'm going to ask her to step around just because she is being pretty fidgety. And that's what I would do with any horse. You know, because I didn't ask her to move. And we've talked about like the start of ground tying with a young horse, and I use this yielding exercise to relieve tension in their body. So as she bends through her rib cage and through her neck and steps across with that hind leg there, she's releasing tension a little bit at a time. Good. Good. So I'm going to try to rub down her neck here again. And like she heard that rasp, and she's just so funny about different noises that she's not quite sure about. She's very, very sensitive to that kind of thing. And so I'm aware of that, but I'm also wanting to work her through it. Like, it will not work. You know, a horse that doesn't tolerate many things is a dangerous horse. So as soon as something starts to get a little wrong and they panic, it's dangerous and people will get hurt. So we need to work her through these issues. But we're gonna do it in a slow way, in a way that she can understand. Good. There we were able to, and I'm not doing anything with this rasp other than kind of making noise on our hoof here. There we go. So this is so much better than it used to be. It's just getting her to it each time. Like, you know, it's like we have to warm her up to it every time yet. Now I'm gonna grab the nippers. The nippers here to see if we can't knock some of the edges off. Here again, we're just gonna do it a little bit at a time. You know, you've heard me say it, if you've watched any of my videos on her, I want my horses to have a great farrier experience. So I'm all about putting the steps into place. And see right there, she just jumped about something, so I'm gonna step her around, relieve some of that tension through her body, and get her just softer through here and stepping a little better. Same thing I'll do under saddle once we're riding her. Good. So here again, I'm going to let her smell this and try to keep it visible. She is very leery about it, so if she wants to move her feet, then I'll work on the softness on this side. So here's the deal, like, it's a win-win. If a horse moves and is a little bit anxious, I make it my idea and I work on something productive. Like, this is helping her in the long run to learn how to be more relaxed in her movement and in her balance, and it's giving her mind something to do. Because her mind naturally, maybe something from the past, we don't know, but her mind wants to panic every time something is a little different. Good. All right, so she feels much more relaxed. So what I'm going to try to do is just start. Here's where I should have my hoof pick, but I use the edge of this nippers to get the dirt off. And I'm going to just start taking some of those edges start taking some of that long toe off. And it's really hard to do it with one hand. You know, typically when I'm trimming a horse, I have their leg between my legs where I can use both hands. She just jumped a little bit there. It's hard to tell why, but try to get her back in a settled state of mind like she was there a little bit ago. Good. 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 There we go. Good. The more you make something familiar with them, with a horse, you know, the more relaxed they get. Like, I just keep making this a casual thing, and I used to do farrier work, still do some. I trim some of my own horses, and this is a little more of an extreme case in a few different ways. Good. Good. With her mentality, and also how bad her hooves are. Good. There we go. Get a little more here. All right, then I'm going to give her a break since she's really been trying there. Good job. Good. Good job. That's what I want to see right there, is her relaxing to it, and there she's licking, chewing. So now we'll go to the other side and see if we can't get a little bit knocked off on that side. We'll let her smell this rasp. Good job. Good. Same thing. I'm just trying to be real casual here. Good. You know, we won't get a ton done tonight, but it'll be a start. Okay, good. That's a really, really good try on that side. Great job. Great job. You know, with something like this, it's a tough case with her, and there's no quick fixes. Like if you have people tell you there's a quick fix for it, you know, I've not seen one in almost 25 years of training. You just gotta keep building the trust, you gotta keep with it, and eventually it'll all come together. Sorry. Good. All right, so we're going to keep working on it here. This is rough farrier work. Nothing precise about what I'm doing right now. Just doing a rough draft of it, one-handed. She's been very, very patient with me here, and hope she'll continue to be that way for a bit. There we go. Good job. Doing great, girl. Hang out with me just a little bit, please. There we go. Just a little more. Good. Good job. Doing great. You might ask, like, how do you know where the hoof wall is? And, you know, because of how overgrown she is, there's a lot of extra hoof wall sticking down. So I'm nowhere near, like I'm standing around the edges, and I just do a little bit at a time, but I'm nowhere near the sole. Nowhere near the sensitive areas yet. Get a little bit more knocked off here, and then we'll give her a break again. Doing great, girl. I know it's getting long here. How about that? Whoop. She felt the handle touch her and it scared her. No big deal. That's what I thought might happen at some point. It's all right, girl. You're all right. She's just so sensitive about everything. And we want to teach her to tolerate things. Good. Good job. All right, there we go. Okay. Well, Tater's taking a potty break again. Okay, so not much better. Not much better, but it's a start. You know, it's a little bit at a time with her. To me, it's more about keeping her mind good than getting the hooves trimmed all the way. So, as long as I can keep building her trust and keeping her mentally good, we're gonna keep getting those feet better and better. She's gonna get more patient and she's gonna let me do more and more. But it takes a lot of patience to get her to that point. But you see how quiet she is right now? And that's after I did some trimming on her. So great job. Great job, Sierra. Good job, Tater. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, thank you all for the comments and the engagement on my YouTube channel. I really appreciate it. And hey, she's getting there slowly but surely. Let me know what you think of her by now. I'll see y'all in the next one. Hmm?
Don't forget about Tater. You could say this is what a pocket pony is called.
And this is what a pocket pony is called. Good job, Tater. What are you doing, Tater?